All right, man. AFC South. It's time to dive into the win totals and division winners. This conference I'm kind of cold about. Not really sure what's going on here. It's going to be a jumbled mess. A couple of rookie QBs that might take off. Brendan is doing the most to piss me off. So, Brendan, how we doing? Albeit your shitty day, how are we feeling?
I'm all right, man. Thanks for asking.
Mm, yeah, of course. That's what I'm here for. Well, let's just.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're ready to go. Let's talk AFC South. Let's talk about some not fun teams first. Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans. Seven and a
Oh,
half wins. Feels like a little over.
oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding.
Feels like a little over. Dude.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to react there. Tell me how you feel about the team and what do you feel about them at 7.5 wins.
The Bucks. Well, no, them and the Rams have like two of the worst teams in the entire NFL.
Did you say the Bucks?
I didn't say that at first, but I took it back. Sorry, the
Okay.
Rams.
So let's
Um,
say Tampa Bay Bucks.
yeah, they don't have Brady anymore. They're not going to be any good. Anyway, yeah, I've got the tits here at about dose wins. I truly don't think that they're gonna.
Wow.
I truly don't think that they're gonna come
Oh my
anywhere close to this
gosh.
total. And I know what they always do is Vrabel.
That is insane.
Vrabel will come up and like win some of these games. I don't really understand how, but I mean, if you just look at the team, defense and
Dude, he
offense is
does.
so bad.
But it's how Vrabel works. Literally, like last year, he inserted a Josh Dobbs who hadn't even been on the team for a full month, and he almost beat the Jaguars. He almost
I
beat
mean,
the
he
Jaguars with
did.
Josh Dobbs. He pulled him off the streets, put him in his jersey, and said, "Let's go play." And somehow they almost beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is
As
amazing. But
soon
Vrabel gets his team
as
going.
if as soon as Derrick Henry reaches that point where he gets too old, it's over. It is so over. I mean, we're
I
just
know,
waiting on it
I
now.
know.
Could be this. They should have traded him for a lot of draft stock. Really should have. This could be the year. Is he 30 or
Yeah,
is he
it's kind of.
29?
I'm not sure his age
I
yet.
think he's
I know
29.
he's back 20s, if not 30. But I think, I mean, I agree with you. And I, I thought it was going to be last year. I thought
Me
the
too.
Derrick Henry era was over, but he continues to impress and he continues to just carry his team, man. But I agree with that take. I think as soon as Derrick Henry blows a tire, I think the Titans are done. But until then, I mean, they have a fighting chance. I've seen some of the practice videos of Will Levis, and he looks awful. I mean, his he looks bad. Like
That was
I
real.
feel bad for all the Titans fans and what they're going to have to deal with this next year in terms of the product that the Titans are going to put out. But I I've already done it once in doubting Mike Vrabel. I can't say I have him at 2 wins, so I think they end up winning more than two. But 7.5, I agree,
They're
is
not
quite the
clearing seven and
stretch.
a half. They're not clearing that 8 game mark at all. Not at all.
Okay, so
Nowhere close.
assuming let for the sake of this, let's say that happens. Then you have two other teams in the AFC South that go over. Out of those, out of the teams that go over, who do you have making a big splash if the Tennessee Titans don't do it? Which team in the
Oh,
AFC South surprises you the most?
oh. Well, I mean, doesn't surprise me. Might surprise other people. The Texans, I think, are gonna. I like the over 6.5. I had them at 7, but I think they could. I mean, they could get to 8. I mean, it'll be tough, but um, I like that young team. They really don't have anything to lose, and it's a pretty well coached team. They just don't have the players yet, so um, they did the big draft move with Stroud and Anderson, so which I thought was pretty cool. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, but
Yeah,
very underrated team.
So I have the Texans right at 6 wins, and I think they could easily go over.
Mhm.
I'm not like saying that I think like 6 is a hard number by any limit, but I I do agree that I think the Texans could surprise people as well because they have a little bit more of a complete team than I think people let like lead on, I guess. I think that they view the Texans as like bottom of the barrel, but in terms of talent, that's really not the case. They have a good defense. Now they have Will Anderson. Were led by Derek Stingley last year, who had a great year. They have an offensive line that's
Mhm.
pretty solid. That's led by Laramie Tunsil. So CJ Stroud's going to be well protected, and it's not like he's throwing the bums. He's got, Mechie's back. He's healed from lymphoma, from what I'm
The rest are
hearing.
bums.
He's got
The
Nico
rest are
Collins.
bums. Bum.
I mean, like they just drafted somebody out of
Bum.
the 2023 NFL draft, right?
I couldn't tell you who it
They
was.
drafted a receiver. They drafted a receiver out of the draft, so they have Mechie, Nico Collins, and then somebody else. I mean, I think it's a Tank Dell. That sound familiar?
Purdue.
Um,
Purdue.
I think so. Let me double check this real quick. Yeah, Tank Dell.
Purdue. Is that right?
No, not Purdue. Alabama
Damn.
A&M. But he got a really, really good draft profiling grade. So
That's good.
that's somebody who's going to add a little bit of flash on the edge. So he won't be throwing to scrubs. So he at least has that going for him.
We'll say they did trade for Dalton Schultz as well.
That is true. So
that's a good receiving tight end to put in
yeah,
there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be bad at all. Really, the game's win and loss in the trenches. So, if they're well established on the offensive line, I haven't looked into it. You said they are. So, they'll have time
it.
to make those
I mean,
throws.
I'm not going to say that they have like a top tier offensive line by any means, but it's not. It could be a lot worse. There are teams out
Mhm.
there who would not mind being in the Houston Texans positions in terms of offensive line proficiency. So that is saying something that goes a long way in the league, especially with a rookie quarterback.
Mhm.
Now, I think the reason I have them at 6 and not overperforming their win total is because I think another rookie QB is going to ball out and kind of take this division by storm. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be the real deal. He may not have the best year ever this year, but I think he's going to come out and surprise people. I think the Colts clear their 6.5 win total. I have them right around 7 or 8 wins. I think they're gonna do well. I think they're gonna do well this year. I really like the roster that they're gonna put out. I think Anthony Richardson will have plenty of weapons to throw to. I mean, he's got Michael Pittman, he's got Ashton Doolin, Alec Pierce, who Alec Pierce is an underrated receiver in my opinion. He's got 2 tight ends in Jelani Woods and Mo Alley Cox, who's a beast in the red zone. A solid offensive line, not as good as the Colts have had in the past, but still solid nonetheless. And he'll be handing the ball off to Jonathan Taylor, one of the premier running backs in the league. I think 6.5 wins is in sight easily for Anthony Richardson. What do you think?
He can't throw. That's what I think. God,
I
that just
mean,
like,
you know what?
man.
Let's say he can't. Let's say he can't throw. We've seen teams run the hell out of the ball and still win games.
Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. He can throw that ball. I don't see him going through a progression and reading a defense and making the right throw. That's what I don't see. And that's because we haven't seen it. Maybe technically we have at some point, but and I'm not gonna like deny it if he does. But I just don't understand. And I'm not. This isn't just you. Like, there's a lot of people saying this, and I just don't understand what they've seen to think that he will be that level-headed QB in the pocket. But I think they can. I think the Colts can go over 6.5, but barely. Like, I'm like 6 or 7 is what I've got. But you know,
I
you know what I think about AR.
I don't know. I know what I think, but I think that I am making an assumption and saying that, obviously he's gonna do really well because there are certain aspects of his game where we really have no idea on. And
I'd
I'm
agree.
kind of taking a leap by making the statement of I think that a lot of his faults last year and the fact that his team was losing and while he was in college at Florida was on Billy Napier and on other players on Florida. The I think that Anthony Richardson actually gave him one or two more wins than they actually deserved. The receivers couldn't catch to save their life. And I mean, Billy Napier wasn't helping him out by the plays that he was calling. So I just, I have hope. But again, to be fair, that is about all I have is hope. But I think that the type of athlete that he is, inserted with the weapons that he has, as well as the coaching that he'll be involved with, I think it puts him in a great spot. And this Colts team alone, no matter who's a quarterback, if it's Gardner Minshew, who's currently on their roster right now,
They would be
as
raw with
as
Minshew.
their number
They
one
would be
quarterback.
raw.
So that's why I am like, whoever's at quarterback, they're clearing 6.5 wins. 7 wins is easily in sight for this Colts team. No matter who's a quarterback.
I mean, I just think that if Minshew's at quarterback, they probably have no problem clearing that. If Richardson is at quarterback, it's questionable.
But what my thing is like these guys are making that decision on, and then they're seeing these guys in practice. So clearly they have, well, I mean, some coaches are idiots, but assuming that they have better judgment, whoever's starting at QB is the better quarterback for their scheme and will lead them to the most wins.
Yeah.
So no matter who's in there, I am confident that 6.5 wins is inside.
I think that this is the team that said it where, AR doesn't get any better sitting on the bench, as I'm pretty sure what they said. So I think they're going with him no matter what, and Minshew's the backup. So if you're thinking about it for this year, like wins, it might hinder it a little bit, but for like player development, I mean, it's the right thing to do if he's going to develop into it. But that's what I think they're starting with him week 1. They drafted him, what was it, third? Third, what? No. Fourth.
No, it's fourth.
Yeah, fourth. So, yeah, they're not going to waste that draft capital. They're playing them this year, all the games.
I guess we'll see, man.
We'll see.
I think that Anthony Richardson cannot throw the ball a single time in the game, and they'll still have a chance to win the game. But call me crazy. I might be an idiot. Who knows? But that's one of my bold predictions that obviously nobody can say, like, there's nothing that's going to back me up. It's just kind of like an assumption that I'm making, and I'm going to have fun and run with it. So it's all that matters. Now, that leads us to the final team to talk about in the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They've gained a ton of steam. Everybody's leaning heavy on this Jags team. I mean, their line to win the division is juiced, -170 on some books, -150 on another. They're sitting at 9.5 wins. The public perception of the Jaguars seems to be really, really high, which I understand, but at the same time, I am not that high on this Jaguars team. What, BJ? Tell me how you feel about the Jags.
I think they're very good. I think the defense is good. And I think the offense is good, and Doug Peterson's running it really well. But people would look at that 9.5 without looking at the schedule and think that was, oh yeah, obviously they're going to go over based on how they did last season. But they actually have a kind of difficult schedule, if I remember correctly.
It's the toughest in their division.
They play the Chiefs and the Bills. They've got, I think the Lions are going to be really underestimated this year. They play the Lions at the Lions. Jaguars. I'm sorry, not 49ers. Sorry. We're talking about the Jaguars. The Bengals. The Ravens. And those are just, there's a bunch of games in there that I didn't mention that are kind of up in the air. I've got them under on this, just hedging it with the fact of injury or unluckiness. I've got him at 9. I've got him at under 9.5. But I still think that 9 and what would that be 9-8 gets them the division.
Yeah. See, one of my bold predictions. I have a lengthy list of bold predictions apparently, but one of my bold predictions is the Colts take the conference. Jags fall under. My model has the Jags around 8.2. I'm gonna ride with Scarlett on this one.
What'd you say?
I said Scarlett has the Jags at about 8.2. I'm gonna ride with her on this one. I think the Jags go under. I think the Colts shock the nation and they take the division at plus 500 odds, nonetheless.
I can't.
Call me crazy.
I can't with that. I'm not calling anything.
I mean, more than likely, statistics say that I'm probably going to look like an idiot after the season, but I just like this Colts roster too much. I like it too much.
Are your Colts what my Lions are this year?
Yes.
Yes. Is it really?
Yes.
You at least agree on the Lions. I don't agree on the Colts.
Yeah. I mean, agree or not, I'm going to be cheering for this damn Colts team. So, yeah, I think people are underwhelmed by the Jaguars this year. I think they still are, a solid team, but they do kind of play a daunting out of conference schedule or out of division schedule with Buffalo. Atlanta's going to be tough. Kansas City, San Francisco, Cincinnati. Let's not forget Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. All of those are losable games for the Jaguars. The only ones that you can even feel halfway confident are the ones that they get at home. But even then, that's not saying a whole lot. But all right, with that being said, I already gave mine. But after we go through the win totals, BJ, I need to know who wins the division for the AFC South.
The Jags.
Pretty easy. Take the chalk.
Hey, watch your mouth. I'm sorry. I have eyes. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry for me looking at it.
It's safe, but okay. Let's pivot real quick.
Dude, quick. I know for a fact. I might not have told you. I don't know who I told. But the Jags were plus 700. Maybe it was half a joke. Maybe it wasn't. But last year to win the division, I was like, maybe. And they did. Didn't? Yeah. No.
Well, okay.
They didn't. I don't know who won last year.
So if you're betting from a sports betting standpoint, there's too much juice on the Jaguars to be comfortable with taking them as a bet right now. Nobody's laying minus 170. Nobody's laying minus 150 on a long-term bet, especially. But if I was you and you wanted to bet the Jags, so they start the season off, going to Indianapolis, and then they go and play Kansas City right after that. There's a chance, more than likely they'll be 1-1, but there's a chance that they're 0-2 after those first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to take the Jags right there, you can probably get them at plus money after week 2. So then that's when you hop in.
Especially if they lose to the Colts.
Exactly. But then they get the Colts back at home, and They can mend their season by beating them, taking that series 1-1, and then beating out Houston and Tennessee. Then they're winning. But you get them at plus money because you waited 2 weeks after they played the Chiefs.
Yeah, I thought you were about to ask me if I'm not picking the Jags, who would I pick? And I'm like, I don't want to lose money, so nobody.
I mean, I'm taking the Colts because I love their odds at plus 500. I actually found them again at plus 700 on some other smaller sports books, but I think it's worth it. I'm not taking juice laying the chalk with the Jags. I'm going to take a chance on the Colts. I mean, shit, why not? Let's put $10 for $70. That's fun. If your unit's $10, that's what you could do. Yeah, $7,000.
You should put 1,000 on there. Just saying. No, that would make me feel bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No chance.
All right. Terrible division.
No fun, but hey, there's a lot to be exploited here. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how it plays out because it's really going to say. I think one of the QBs one of the rookie QBs in this division actually exceeds expectations at a very high level. So I'm curious to see which one. Obviously, you guys know which
It
one.
ain't gonna be Levis.
Me. It's not. I don't think it's going to be Levis.
It ain't
either,
gonna be Levis.
Everybody knows which one it's going to be for me, but it could not be. I really think that one of them comes out with a really strong rookie year and kind of exceeds expectations, surprises everybody. So it could be a fun division nonetheless. But catch us on our next show. We'll be talking about something that's way more exciting in the AFC West. We appreciate you guys listening. Talk to you guys next week.
Bye.